Welcome to National Action Network Saturday Action Rally. We're coming to you live on WLIB 1190 AM in the city of New York. We are streaming to you all across the country on National Action Network, Facebook, and other platforms. We are live right here in the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street. Call somebody. Tell them the action is on the air. The Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton is in the house and getting ready to come to you. We're so pleased that you are with us on this Saturday morning, because if you hear the cry of no justice, no peace, you know this is where the action is. Our president and founder is the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton. The chairman of our board is the Reverend Dr. W. Franklin Richardson, senior pastor of Grace Baptist Church in Mount Vernon, New York. I'm attorney Michael Hardy. Will be with you throughout the broadcast this morning. We are so pleased to have today for our inspirational word segment the Reverend Lawrence Aker. He is the senior pastor of the historic Cornerstone Baptist Church in the great borough of Brooklyn. Of course, if it's Saturday, our musical director, Minister Tyrone Richardson, and the Change Choir is in the house. Also, if it's Saturday, you know our dear sister Katrina Jefferson, who's the liaison to Reverend Sharpton, and also the coordinator of all things here at National Action Network's House of Justice, is going to come, and she's going to want to know from you what's on your mind. That's right. She's going to want to know what you're thinking about. And brothers and sisters, there should be something that you are thinking about, because there's so much happening all across the world, around the states, in your community, or wherever. You must have something on your mind that you want to share with Katrina Jefferson. If you've not had an opportunity to do so, you can still do. You can email her at whatsonyourmind@nationalactionnetwork.net, or you can call 877-626-4651 and let her know what's on your mind. So we want you to call somebody, tell them the action is on the air. The Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton is in the house and getting ready to come to you. We want to let everyone know that the NAN Youth Huddle will meet Monday, November 22nd, here at the House of Justice Auditorium, beginning at 6 p.m. Spread the word, get into the action with our youngest and brightest dreamers of today and leaders of tomorrow. For more information on the NAN Youth Huddle experience, you can call 877-626-4651 or email nanyouthhuddle@gmail.com. Also, we always remind you to tune in to MSNBC's Politics Nation today, Saturday at 5 p.m., tomorrow, Sunday at 5 p.m. That's Politics Nation on MSNBC with Al Sharpton. That's today at 5 p.m., tomorrow, Sunday, 5 p.m., MSNBC's Politics Nation with Al Sharpton. Also, brothers and sisters, we are coming up. It is Thanksgiving week, and therefore we're asking you to join us for Thanksgiving with NAN at the House of Justice here in New York City. You and your families are invited to Thanksgiving dinner with National Action Network at the House of Justice Auditorium. That will be Thursday, Thanksgiving Day, November 24th at 11 a.m. until 3 p.m. while supplies last, of course, right here at the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street, 106 West 145th Street, the House of Justice in the great village of Harlem. So join us for great food, fellowship, and giving thanks with one another. For more information, to confirm your attendance, donate, or volunteer, call us at 877-626-4651. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your loved ones. Right now, brothers and sisters, Dr. Alvin Ponder, Vice President of the New York City chapter, will give you some additional information.
Thank you, Attorney Hardy. Good morning, brothers and sisters, listeners and viewers, and thank you for tuning in to another Saturday Action Rally with the National Action Network. Here's some information to keep you in the know. Loudmouth premieres in D.C. ahead of national release next month. Loudmouth, the documentary that chronicles Reverend Al Sharpton's activism, will open in movie theaters across the nation on December 9th this year. For a full list of theaters premiering Loudmouth in a city near you, visit our website at www.nationalactionnetwork.net to see where the documentary will be showing. Last week, Reverend Sharpton led a screening of the highly acclaimed documentary on his career at the Motion Pictures Association headquarters in Washington, D.C. The screening was followed by the launch of the Loudmouth Awards, which honored local community activists, as well as a Q&A with Washington Post columnist Jonathan Capehart. Reverend Sharpton said, Loudmouth not only takes a look at how far we have come, but serves as a reminder of the work still ahead in the fight for justice. My hope is it will inspire the next generation of loudmouths to get involved to fight for their community. Several members of Congress were among those in attendance. Other attendees included NAN National Board member Tanya Lombard, Vice President of Global External Public Affairs, Head of Multicultural Engagement and Strategic Alliances at AT&T, as well as the Washington staff for several national civil rights organizations. Reverend Sharpton also was greeted by MPA Chairman and Chief Executive Officer Ambassador Charles Rivkin. Congratulations, Mayor-elect Karen Bass. Reverend Sharpton and the National Action Network congratulates Congresswoman Karen Bass on her election as mayor of the great city of Los Angeles. Representative Bass makes history as the first woman and the second black to serve Los Angeles. We look forward to working with her in the many months ahead. Thank you, Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Reverend Sharpton and the National Action Network applaud Speaker Nancy Pelosi on her many years of service to the American people. This week, Speaker Pelosi announced that she will not run for a leadership post in the next session of Congress. Reverend Sharpton said, "We salute a great public servant, Nancy Pelosi. You are a giant in the nation's history who has energetically and sincerely worked closely with us on every civil rights issue that came up. You have been a consistent partner for progress." Thank you. New members orientation class here at the House of Justice will be rescheduled on Saturday, December 3rd, immediately following the Saturday Action Rally. Reverend Sharpton will host the new members orientation along with some of our national department directors and key NAD staff members in the cabinet and leadership of the New York City chapter. If you have joined NAD in the past 3 months now, or you've never been orientated as a member of NAD, this class is for you. For more information and to RSVP, please call us at 877-626-4651. Well, Thanksgiving at NAD next week. Join us here at the House of Justice in the auditorium, 106 West 145th Street, on Thursday, November 24th for Thanksgiving dinner. Join us for our annual feeding as we give thanks with food and fellowship together. We will kick off our dining festivities indoors at 11 a.m. and the event will conclude at 3 p.m. or while supplies last. We invite you and your families to join NAN for Thanksgiving. For more information, to volunteer or to RSVP, call us again at 877-626-4651. Welcome to all of you who have joined in and joined us. Also via live stream at www.nationalactionnetwork.net and also live on Facebook at National Action Network. If this is your first time joining us and or if you're not a member of NAN, we welcome you to NAN and invite you to join us and get into the action today. For more information and to join, you may visit again www.nationalactionnetwork.net or call 877-626-4651. Again, that's 877-626-4651, or just text the word NAN, N-A-N, to 59769. Welcome.
All right, thank you, Dr. Ponder, for those information. Right now, brothers and sisters, it is Katrina Jefferson, liaison to President Sharpton and coordinator here at National Action Network. She wants to know what's on your mind. Good morning.
Good morning, Attorney Hardy, and good morning to each and every one of you who are here live here at the fantastic House of Justice, to those that are watching by way of live streaming on our Facebook page and on our website, www.nationalactionnetwork.net, and to those that are listening by way of WLIB 1190 AM, welcome to another weekend's conversation of What's on Your Mind, where you, the people, guys, you have the opportunity to interact with us at the National Action Network by sending us your thoughts, your viewpoints. Maybe it's a conversation you overheard this week on the news and you want to bring it to the forefront, or it's something that you're seeing happening in your neighborhood. Well, guess what? This is a space and the platform for you. You can email us 24 hours a day at whatsonyourmind@nationalactionnetwork.net. Again, that email address is whatsonyourmind, then the @ nationalactionnetwork.net, or you may call us at 877-626-4651. Good morning. Give us your name. Let us know where you are from and share with us what's on your mind today.
Good day, everybody, and God bless everybody. My name is Sister Reverend Word. I'm from heaven, born in Harlem. I'm 71 years old and new, and I'm a National Action Network lifetime member. Of course, what's on my mind is Bible scriptures, and Jesus Christ encourages every person, particularly Christians, to get involved in governing, encouraging for a good government. So I respectfully suggest that President Biden use his presidential authority to appoint 4 more United States Supreme Court judges. The reason being, there are 13 United States Court of Appeals, and each Court of Appeals needs to have one judge presiding over their issues. So please, President Biden, consider adding 4 more additional United States Supreme Court judges. God bless you all and good day. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I'm going to move to one of our seasoned saints, another lifetime member here at the National Action Network, and she's going to share with us what's on her mind. Give us your name and good morning.
Good morning, family. My name is Ivy Walton, and guess what? You guys are stuck with me now because Mother Nixon is in a nursing home, and my great friend, Margaret Lamb, has gone on. And you know what, one thing I'd like to say about this is Rev said you always have to try to pick something to say about a person when they're gone. Mother Lamb preached her own funeral. She was a veteran. She was a Garvey Act. She was at the Order Ballroom when Malcolm was shot. And you know what? We was joined by the hip. My heart is broken. My heart is broken. I told her, I said, girl, you know what, if anything happened to you, I said, you know I won't be any good. She told me, she said, girl, don't be like that. Anyway, I'd like to tell you, guys, the funeral service has changed from 3 o'clock to 1. It's going to be at Bethel AME Church at 132nd Street at 1 p.m. instead of 3 o'clock. It's 1 o'clock. God bless you all, guys.
Thank you so much, Mother Ivy. And yes, she was talking about one of our lifetime members here at National Action Network, Mother Margaret Lamb, who we are funeralizing, or who is being funeralized on tomorrow at Bethel AME Church at 60 West 132nd Street here in the village of Harlem. The time is 1 o'clock p.m. So the family has moved it up to 1 o'clock p.m. and it will last roughly an hour. And the repast will be here for the family and her loved ones here at the House of Justice immediately following the program. I get to share what's on my mind. One, turkey distribution this week happening on Tuesday at 5 o'clock p.m. For those who are in need, please make sure you get here early, and there will be a line. You'll be given a ticket, and then we'll distribute turkeys at 5 o'clock p.m. We are also looking for volunteers to help with that, maybe about 5 or 6 if you can, able-bodied, because it does require some gentle lifting, and we don't want anyone to injure themselves. And so if you are available, please see me immediately following the program, or if you are watching and want to come and volunteer, or you're listening and want to come and volunteer for the Turkey Distribution Day, please call us at 877-626-4651 and ask to speak to Katrina, and you can leave a voice message there as well, and I'll pick that up and give you a call right back. Also, Thanksgiving Day, we do have a volunteer sign up at the counter, and so if you haven't signed up and you know you're planning to be here on Thanksgiving Day, please make sure you sign up so that we can account for you and make sure that we have a proper station for you to serve at. It's going to be a tremendous day. This is the first holiday season back since the top of the pandemic where we are able to feed those in New York who are not only who need it, but who just want to have family or be amongst family during the holiday season. We have opened our doors year after year after year after year, and for me as a coordinator, it just keeps getting better and better and better and better and better. My family lives across the country in California, and they know every holiday I'm here at the House of Justice, so don't even ask if I'm coming home. You know, we can Zoom, or y'all can FaceTime me when y'all get over it, to the family house or wherever you all are gathering. And so I encourage you, if you don't have family in New York and you're looking for a place to be, this is the place to be. There's so much love, laughter, and sharing, and a real sense of community in this room. And so I encourage you, volunteer if you can, an hour, 2 hours, or you can spend the whole day with us. We would love to have you. And again, the sign-up list is on the counter. It's highlighted at the top because we have several sign-up lists going. It does say Thanksgiving Day, okay? And thank you so much for that. And we're going to close with one of the emails from our contributor, Rodney Jones of Queens, New York. And this is regarding Senator Reverend Raphael Warnock, who happens to be a Morehouse brother of mine. Not the same year. I went to Spelman, but yeah. We claim each other's family. Reverend Raphael Warnock grew up in Caden Homes Public Housing in Savannah. The family was short on money, but long on faith, love, and humor. Raphael and his 11 brothers and sisters were taught the meaning of hard work. Reverend Warnock's father was a veteran, a small businessman, and a preacher. He spent the week hauling old cars to the local steel yard, and on Sundays, he preached at a local church. Reverend Warnock's mother grew up in Waycross, where she spent summers picking tobacco and cotton, and still lives in Savannah today. She worked hard to raise Raphael and his siblings to know that they could do anything they put their mind to. When he enrolled at Morehouse College, Reverend Warnock didn't know how he would pay the full tuition. With the help of low-interest student loans and Pell Grants, he graduated, earned a PhD, and was ordained in the ministry. He was chosen to serve as senior pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church in Atlanta, the former pulpit of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. He was the youngest pastor selected to serve in that leadership role at that historic church. Senator Warnock was elected as a Democrat to the United States Senate on January 5th, 2021, a special election runoff, and took the oath of office on January 20th, 2021. He is a member of the Senate Agricultural, Nutrition, and Forestry Committee, where he chairs the important subcommittee on commodities, risk management, and trade, as well as the Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, where he chairs the key financial institutions and consumer protection subcommittee. Senator Warnock also serves on the Senate Commerce, Science, and Transportation Committee, the Senate Aging Committee, and the Bicameral Joint Economic Committee. No justice, no peace. And that was a blurb on our dear Senator Warnock of the state of Georgia. And that concludes this weekend's conversation of What's on Your Mind. Keep in mind everything that you heard here was simply the thoughts and the viewpoints of the contributors and do not reflect those of the National Action Network directly. And you may contact us 24 hours a day by emailing us at whatsonyourmind@nationalactionnetwork.net. Again, that email address is whatsonyourmind@nationalactionnetwork.net. Or you may call us at 877-626-4651. Have a fantastic holiday week with your families and tune in to next week's conversation. Back to you, Attorney Hardy.
All right. Thank you, Katrina Jefferson, for What's on Your Mind. Right now, brothers and sisters, we're going to go in the house. In the house is all about the work of the National Action Network's committees and everything that they do. Today, Sandra Mitchell, Chaplain Sandra Mitchell, she's the chairperson of the New Housing Committee here at National Action Network, will bring you in the house.
Blessings, everyone. Again, my name is Chaplain Sandra Mitchell, and I am a proud member of the National Action Network. I've been away for a little while. I was in a nursing home, but you know what? Nan showed up, broke down the door, and let them know COVID don't have no place here. And they came to see me. They came to call me. Even when they stole my clothes, Nan gave me new clothes. So I bless the Lord for Nan, because I was there in my bed of affliction, not knowing which day was up or which day was down. But let me tell you something, Nan is family. So good morning, good morning, good morning, Nan family. I love you. I want to tell you about the New Housing Committee and what we're going to be doing. Lord, my phone. The New Housing Committee, what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be heading up the collaboration with the community-based organizations. CASA, you've heard them be here before, Community Action for Safe Apartments, and also the Northwest Bronx Community Clergy Coalition. We're going to come together with Harlem, and we're going to help people with just simple things like lease recertifications. Sometimes, you know, you just need to do your paperwork and you need someone to sit down with you and go over these things and to understand what your rights are. Also, this is the season where we don't have heat and hot water, and a lot of times we use space heaters, and we're still going to be working with the fire department in order to say what to do in case of a fire, what to do to prevent a fire, also to get rid of clutter. If the fire department has to come in and get you, or come in and put the fire out, you don't want to have clutter all around you. That will add to the time that it takes for them to get to you and deter saving lives. So we're going to be doing a lot of things. My predecessor, Karen Peterson, she's going to be heading up a new division with co-ops and condos. Just because you get a co-op or a condo doesn't mean you don't have problems. We're getting repairs done, safety on the grounds, making sure that repairs are being done in a timely fashion. So she's going to be heading up that division. There's a fight there too. And I want to say to you, the reason why I joined the National Action Network, I always looked at the National Action Network from afar. I would listen on the radio, I would look in the newspaper, I would hear something was being done, said, I really want to be in the action, I want to be there. But I was working, taking care of my son, going to school, but I said, that's no excuse, I want to be there. So one day, one of my colleagues, Daniel Poro, he invited me to come on Christmas Day. And my family didn't know what they wanted to do, and I said, well, later for y'all, I'm going to the National Action Network. I said, I'm going to eat some of that good food. And the food was good, but it was more than just the food. It was the fellowship, and it was being in a historical place right here in Harlem where I was born. And I started to look at the pictures and start to rewind the different historical events. And I said, this is real. This is not something whereas, you know, these are real people like me, boots on the ground, actually going out and fighting for justice. I wanted to be a part of that army fighting for justice. And so I'm here. I've been here 18, 19 years, and I will soon be a lifetime member. Because sometimes when you get on that bed of affliction, you start looking at your life, and you're looking at things that you want to do. And so I said, okay, time for me to step up and be a lifetime member. Because I spent all my holidays here. Nan is my family. And I get to learn so much. You know, you can stay at home if you want to and wonder what things are going on and how things are going astray. Or you can get into the action. You can call 877-626-4651. And right now you can join and you can come for all the volunteer events that we have and be a part of the action. So I want to say thank you for your listening and God richly bless you.
All right, Sister Mitchell, thank you for bringing us in the house here at National Action Network right now. Brothers and sisters, you know our Saturday, so our musical director is in the house, the Change Choir is in the house, and our soloist, Tisha Hunter, is in the house, and she's coming right now.
Praise the Lord, everybody. Come on, clap your hands if you're grateful, if you're thankful to be in the house today. Come on. Listen. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good, for he is worthy, worthy, for he is good. Yes, he is good. Worthy, worthy, for he is good. Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. For he is worthy, worthy. He is good. Yes, he is good. For he is worthy, worthy. For he is good. Come on, take it up. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. Oh, give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good. Yes, he is good. For he is worthy. My God is worthy. For he is good. For he is good. He's worthy, worthy. For he is good. Yes, he is good. For he is good. Yes, he is good. Come on, say it. He is good.
Yes, he is good.
My Lord is good. Anybody wanna praise him? If you know he's good, and his mercy endureth. My God is good. Yeah. Yes, for he is good. Yes, he is good. Come on, give him praise.
That was Tisha Hunter, our soloist for the Change Choir. Right now, brothers and sisters, we are pleased to have a special guest today. She's going to give us some special remarks. It's Ingrid Renderos, MPA Director, BMCC, CUNY in the Heights, lead for I Hope program, and she's going to come to you right now.
Thank you very much and good morning. Before anything, I also want to thank the National Action Network and also Ms. Gina Wilson for inviting me to speak. So of course, I represent Borough Manhattan Community College, but before anything, I want to start out by first being very proud that I am an immigrant. I am Latina. I was born in Ecuador. I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college. Education saved my life. Okay. So this is, as I say, is a professional facade, but it doesn't know the story of my struggle. To finish up, very proudly, my parents, my father, may he rest in peace. He was a janitor, and my mother sewed ties in a factory and was a home health care aide. And I grew up in Washington Heights, in the barrio, and this is about possibility and about breaking chains of poverty, and that's why I do this. Even 25 years in, I'm still excited, I still have my joy, so please help me with what I'm trying to promote, okay? All right, thank you. So up front, I want to honor the time that I have, and I appreciate it. Up front, I wanted you to know that I'm going to talk about the amazing opportunity of Borough Manhattan Community College. I'm going to talk about, I am the director for Borough Manhattan Community College's CUNY in the Heights. CUNY in the Heights is in 213th Street and Broadway, but do know that CUNY in the Heights is not just on Broadway. We also have programs that happen in Harlem and in the Bronx, and I want to get the word out, right? All right, so that's the first thing. To apply to BMCC, you go to www.bmcc.cuny.edu/apply. And for CUNY and the Heights programs, many are free. Please take advantage of it. We are open, okay? You can call 212-776-6611. The inquiries for the iHope program, that's going to be my highlight. Please call 212-776-6616. All right, so my presentation is about BMCC's CUNY and the Heights Career and Educational Pathways, and also I am going to be highlighting our iHope program that's been generously funded by the Robin Hood Foundation. So let me start out with this amazing facility that our communities really deserve. I took my job at BMCC sight unseen. I just knew for me to have the opportunity in education to come back to my neighborhood and tell families, students that look like me, my same situation, that there is chance, we gotta dream, we gotta believe. So let's talk about CUNY and the Heights. The things that we offer at CUNY and the Heights run the gamut, okay? We offer a lot of free classes, sort of OSHA. We offer security officer training. We offer free English classes, right? We also have adult and continuing education classes and workforce development. Some are free, some are with a fee. They're basically skill sets, short-term certificate programs that lead to immediate employment. And my goodness, it just runs the gamut. Medical billing and coding, basic accounting, computer-related classes. We also offer a free, what we call an Attain Lab. It's a free computer lab open to the community. My goodness, you can take classes at your pace with staff there. It's our partnerships with the State University of New York. And we have them virtual, and very soon it'll be open on site. All right, so let me highlight what I really want to focus on. I'm getting the word out, is the iHope program. So if you want to start a career in healthcare or information technology at no cost to you, once again, no cost to you. Let me see about the eligibility. You may be asking, okay, are you interested in healthcare, IT careers? Are you a single parent or guardian, head of household? Are you 25 years of age or older? Do you have a high school equivalency or a high school diploma, but you don't have an associate's degree nor an undergraduate degree, and that's okay? If you live in Upper Manhattan or the Bronx, please, we are recruiting 180 motivated, we're highly gifted, we're highly talented. We just need that chance. And I'm like a representation of that chain of poverty that I broke for my family. So please take advantage of this iHope program. And it's the only one funded by the Robin Hood Foundation in the country. And I don't want this to just end in June. I want to run with Nina Aristi. She's in the audience. And after this, do know that we've got flyers. It's in the back. Take one for your friends, family, yourself. This is for real. I'm not jaded yet. I've been doing this community organizing, higher education, empowerment for 25 years now. And I'm like, what? Okay, we got to do this. So these are the programs that everything free, okay? We're talking EKG, phlebotomy, right? We're talking certified nursing assistant, medical billing and coding, licensed practical nursing. Now, you know that is expensive, all right? LPN. And we also, cybersecurity. What do you get? All you've got to do, right? And we have flyers. Nina Aristi's here. Nina, can you raise your hand? There you go. She's right there. She's the director of this program. You can apply online. You can talk to her. These are the good things that you will get. Not only will you get this education free, at no cost to you, you'll get childcare. Come on now. Childcare is serious. And sometimes you can't continue your education because who's going to take care of your babies? Who can you trust, right? So we have community partners, and one of them will help you with that childcare, okay? It's no cost to you. Free laptop, right? And a hotspot. You're going to get a free Metro card. Emergency funds. What if you got a cable bill, light bill, right? We will help you, and this is for real. This is Robin Hood. And not only is Robin Hood Foundation looking at us to be successful, I only know about winning, regardless of challenges. I'm growth mindset. I want to make this happen. I want to see 180 people from Upper Manhattan and the Bronx. So please, you know we're here. We're recruiting. and we just want to help you and be a partner. God bless you. Thank you for this opportunity. And we're here to stay.
All right, we thank you, Ingrid Renderos Cooney in the Heights. Right now, brothers and sisters, you know the Change Choir is in the house, and a special selection from Megan Buckley under the direction of Minister Tyrone Richardson. That was Megan Buckley, member of the Change Choir, all under the direction of our musical director, Minister Tyrone Richardson. Brothers and sisters, we are so pleased and honored today to have with us for our Inspirational Word segment the Reverend Lawrence Haker. He's the senior pastor of Cornerstone Baptist Church in the great borough of Brooklyn. Let's give him a welcome.
No justice.
No peace.
No justice.
No peace.
Thank you, Attorney Hardy, and certainly to our great chieftain, the Reverend Al Sharpton. Thank him for this opportunity. I want to read in our hearing on this devotional message for just a few moments from 1 Corinthians chapter 9, beginning at verse 24. And I'll read these verses and I pray that they will encourage us to run our race. Do you not know that in a race all the runners run, but only one gets the prize? Run in such a way to get the prize. Everyone who competes in the games goes into strict training. They do it to get a crown that will not last. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Therefore, I do not run like a man aimlessly. I do not fight like a man beating the air. No, I beat my body and make myself a slave, that I too may not be disqualified as I preach and run the race. God's word. I want to remind us today to run your race. Since 1973, New York City has been the host of the greatest race in the world, the New York Marathon. And the numbers have recently come in. Did you know that just a few weeks ago, 46,839 people finished the race? People coming from well over 131 countries in the world, but 46,839 finished the race. And the Apostle Paul is encouraging us today to finish the race. Here we are, my friends, my brothers and sisters. We are 5 days away from Thanksgiving, 36 days away from Christmas, and some 43 days away from New Year's Eve as we prepare to usher in a brand new year. And I want to encourage you to run your race. Paul gives us a tremendous example in this passage. He says that every runner is prepared and they finish the race, but only one gets the prize. And he stresses that it is a temporal prize. But for you and I, as we run the race, we will receive an eternal prize. Paul uses this example. This is the race. His readers knew what he was talking about. He's referring to the Isthmian Games. This was one of the 4 pan-Hellenic festivals in the ancient world. They had boxing, they had track and field, they had swimming. And Paul says only one person will receive that perishable prize. And we know we've seen examples, even in our own culture, of those who have come against great odds and won medals. We know about the legacy of Jesse Owens in 1936 in Berlin, Germany, leaving with 4 gold medals. Not only did he accomplish that, but it became a stage for 2 German brothers by the name of Rudolf and Adolf Dassler and their brand new creation known as Adidas. We have been running the race. We know about the legacy of that great woman who came from Clarksville, Tennessee, fighting childhood deficiencies, Wilma Rudolph, in 1960, winning 4 gold medals in Rome. And she had the whole world saying, she's a runner, she's a track star. I'm trying to tell you, we've been running the race. And so it is in the spiritual and the natural. We too must run the race, and we have examples. We've been blessed by the legacy of Fannie Lou Hamer, who ran her race. We've been blessed by the legacy of Medgar Evers, who ran his race. We've been blessed by the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who ran his race and handed the baton to Jesse Louis Jackson. And Jesse Louis Jackson has handed the baton to the one who has been termed a loud mouth, but he has a long reach, the Reverend Al Sharpton. We have seen examples of those who run the race, and so Paul is saying, now you and I have to run our race. Can I ask you this morning, are you running your race? We have examples, but lastly, let me remind you, this race is about endurance. Somebody say endurance. If you're going to run this race, you have to have endurance. That's why Paul says runners have strict training. There were things in their diet that they had to change. There were things in their daily attainments that they had to take care of because it requires endurance. And if you and I are going to finish the race, we have to run, and we have to run it with endurance. Endurance takes our spiritual disciplines of prayer and stewardship and evangelism. It takes our spiritual disciplines combined with social justice in order to run the race. Do you know how much power we have as we run this race? Collectively, African American people have a buying power of estimated $1.6 trillion. That's more than Russia. That's more than Saudi Arabia. That's more than Australia. That's more than Spain. We can run this race. Mighty Marcus Mosiah Garvey said, don't worry about the kinks in your hair. He said, get the kinks out of your head so that you can run the race. Is there anybody who's running the race today? This is part of our endurance. Aren't you thankful that the hand of God helps us run the race? We know that the big red wave got waved off by God. And so we are enabled to run the race. Let me close by telling you that as we run this race, we have help. We have support. There was a candidate who was running for an office. He shall remain nameless. He had some good commercials. And in the commercial, they would always close it by saying, he's a turnaround expert. They said he's fixed school systems. He's improved neighborhoods. He's lowered taxes. They said he's a turnaround expert. But on Super Tuesday, he couldn't turn it around and he lost. But can I tell you there's another turnaround expert? His name is God. He is the Holy Father. He is the Heavenly Father who sits high, but he looks low. And because of God and his Son, Jesus Christ, we can run the race. He's a turnaround expert. Is there anything in your life that you need turned around today on this Saturday? We have a turnaround expert. All you have to do is call his name, Jesus, and things will turn around. Jesus, and your problems can be strengthened. Jesus, and your life can be saved. He is a turnaround expert. How do you know that, preacher? Because he turned my life around. Is there anybody who knows he can turn your life around? Not only did he turn my life around, but one Friday on Calvary, he turned death into eternal life. He's a turnaround expert. Somebody give him praise. Run your race. Run your race.
We want to thank the Reverend Lawrence Haker, Senior Pastor, Cornerstone Baptist Church. Brothers and sisters, I want you to get on your feet and give a welcome to the president and founder of the National Action Network, the Reverend Dr. Al Sharpton.
No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? When do we want it? 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 Fist bump the person next to you and tell them you love them.
Change
Many years ago, when we started National Action Network, there was a young man that decided to run for the state senate in Brooklyn, was going to run for Congress. And those that were in power at that time were afraid of his run and were threatened by it. And all of a sudden, we were then meeting, National Action Network was then meeting at PS 175. And he came one Saturday morning and told Attorney Hardy and I how they had took his petitions, stole his petitions, and denied him his first race. But he didn't stop. He kept going, and he ran the next time and won the state senate, went on to be board president, never gave up, never gave in, and has become the elected second black to be the mayor of New York. He grew up raised by a mother, told he wouldn't be nothing like I was, but now those that told him that he couldn't be nothing are taking orders from him. If you don't give up, if you don't give out, your change will come.
Your change will come. Your change. Your change is gonna come. Do you believe it? Your change will come. Your change is gonna come. Oh, change will. Change will come. Oh, change will come.
Right across that county of Brooklyn was another young man with ambition, but told that he wouldn't go far. Those on the left say he wasn't left enough. Those on the right say he wasn't right enough. Those in the middle wasn't sure. But day before yesterday, when Speaker Pelosi said she wasn't going to run no more, this same Brooklynite cross county from Eric Adams is on his way to be the first black to head the Democratic caucus in the U.S. Congress. If you don't give up, your change will come.
Your change will come. Your change is gonna come. Just hang on in there. Your change will come. Your change is gonna come. Oh, change will come. Oh, change will come. Change will come. Oh, your change will come. Your change is gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Your change will come. Your change is gonna come. Your change will come. Your change is gonna come. Oh, change will. Change will come. Change will come. Change will come. Your change will come. Your change will come.
National Action Network, Change Choir, give them a big hand. Give them a big hand. Certainly we're happy to be with you another Saturday morning, Saturday Action Rally for you that are here in the House of Justice, 106 West 145th Street in the Village of Harlem. And for you that are listening live on 1190 WLIB AM in New York, and you that are watching and listening various platforms around the country, we're happy to be with you another Saturday to give our report on where the action is. Give a hand to our presider, Attorney Michael Hardy. Our regional director, our regional chair, the Reverend Steffi Bartley. And give a hand to our inspirational speaker, our preacher of the morning, the one and only pastor of Cornerstone Baptist Church, Reverend Lawrence Aker. Glad to have Reverend Aker in the house this morning. Let me say this, because I have something major I want to deal with. First of all, on tomorrow at 1 o'clock, 1 p.m., we will be going to the funeral services of Margaret Lamb at First AME Bethel Church on 132nd and 5th. And many of you know Margaret Lamb was a member of this organization almost from the beginning. And she was 99 years old. And what distinguished her, Reverend Aker, is she was in the Audubon Ballroom when Malcolm X was killed, and then would come here every Saturday. She said, I used to go every Sunday to be with Malcolm, and I wanted to be every Saturday to be with you. She had us hang that picture of Malcolm up in the House of Justice, and we want everybody that can to be with us tomorrow with her family to bid her farewell. Then, as Katrina has announced, we'll be giving out turkeys here on Tuesday at 5 o'clock. And then hot meals we're going to be serving, and I always spend Thanksgiving Day here having dinner with whoever, not only the homeless. We're going to have homeless, and the mayor's going to come by. He comes by every year when he wasn't mayor. And he ain't homeless, but he comes and shares time with us. They tried to make him homeless when he was running. But we'll be here 11 o'clock. We want everybody to spend Thanksgiving. Well, if you're a senior or somebody that don't have family, come spend Thanksgiving Day with us. And I wanted to reiterate that. Let me also say that the documentary movie that John Legend and them have put together on me comes in theaters in 32 states, 47 theaters on December 9th. And it will be in 3 theaters in New York, and we have groups that are going to be in front of every theater signing people up to NAN. You that want to help us can sign at the counter. I'm told it's the first time a civil rights leader had a movie done in theaters while they were still alive. And I don't plan to be gone by December 9th anyway. So I want everybody to be aware of that. They had this private screening at the Motion Picture Association this week in Washington. And 9 members of Congress came, including Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, who said, I lived through a lot of this because it takes my activism from when I was in teenager all the way to George Floyd, and some of you have seen it, using live footage and that they got. You know, it's amazing how they went and got the archives out of CBS and NBC that I never have seen. Which means when we were in controversial cases, they never went back and showed stuff that they had in the can because they want to project you a certain way. They know better, but they just don't show what they want. And I think that is always very interesting. Let me say this, something that really disturbed me this week. Let me first congratulate as I said, the Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. And he's a member of Cornerstone Baptist Church. Hakeem Jeffries is Reverend Aker, who did our inspirational message in the first hour, is his pastor. And Hakeem called me yesterday, and as you know, Hakeem's a member of National Action Network, and he said that he just wanted us to pray for him as they will be taking the vote on November 30th. And if it goes as it's projected, he'll be the first black to lead the Democratic caucus in the Congress and be in line to be the first black that is a speaker. Also, today, right after the broadcast, we're going this afternoon to Inglewood, and we want to support that family. I'm going to go over, somebody give me the flyer so I can announce the details, but we have a bus leaving here at 12:30. I want everybody to go with us over to Inglewood with us for the family of Bernard Placid Jr. Placide Jr., who was killed by police. We'll be there with the family of Bernard Placide, and it's going to start at 2:30 over there in Inglewood. We have a bus here at 12:30, so right after the rally, y'all can go get a sandwich or a sandwich, whichever one you have, and come back and get on the bus. Let me say this. I got up yesterday and worked out, and by the time I come back to my place, I'll get the papers. And so I read the internet and the newspapers. Dominique and Ashley tell me don't carry newspapers when I'm traveling to airports because it look old-fashioned. Nobody reads old. But I read the papers. Some things in the papers ain't on the internet. And some things in the internet ain't on the paper. And front page, one of the papers, said that some say that Eric Adams, the mayor, was the reason they lost 4 congressional districts to the Democrats in New York. And y'all know I get real mad. Yeah, I get sensitive about stuff, especially around the mayor. But the reason I wanted to address this, and the mayor was coming by anyway, I called him, he said, I'm coming by tomorrow, getting ready, and I'll be there Thanksgiving. I said, no, but I really want you to come by. I saw the same distortions made on David Dinkins when he was the mayor of New York, the first black mayor. And I'm seeing the same trend in the media and among some who call themselves progressives that attack Dinkins with misinformation, that are attacking this mayor. And we went for it. Some of us in the black community, we went for it, saying Dave Dinkins played tennis too much, like there's something wrong with staying in shape, or that he shouldn't have had on tuxedos, like he's supposed to go to a formal affair in blue jeans. And we inadvertently, in our passion, beat him down to where the results was we got Rudy Giuliani. The right wing in the media elevated the complaints so they could put in a right winger that would stop everything that was trying to be done. There is a difference between reformers and deformers. Everybody talking about reform are really dealing with deform. Now, let me be real clear. We as an organization support and were really the impetus for a lot of the reforms, including bail reform. I worked, Carl Hasty and Andrea Stewart Cousin, I met with them this week. A lot of the media exaggerates a lot of what happened with bail reform. And the mayor and them have talked. I've said to the mayor yesterday, we need to meet again. We don't have to agree on everything, but we can find mid-ground. And Speaker Carl Hasty and the majority leader of the Senate, and we're going to sit down, the 4 of us, and talk and see where this is. But for the mayor to talk about crime, when we live with crime every day, and some gated community reformers to act like there's something wrong with us addressing crime is to act like that crime in our communities is normal and acceptable. And there's nothing more racist than to act like it is expected that blacks are going to have crime. It is bigoted and racist They act like, well, those communities always have crime, because that's how they are. That is not how we are, and that is not how we're going to continue to be. Crime had gone up 40% when he came in. What was he supposed to talk about? And let me remind you, he ran for mayor, saying he was going to deal with crime. Let's welcome Impact Television from all over the country. He ran saying he was going to deal with crime. He ran saying he was an ex-cop. And he got the majority of the black vote. So some folks that just ride through the black community on the way to LaGuardia Airport need to check in. He wasn't the only black in the race. Hello. But he got the majority of the black vote. Now, Ashley takes credit for it, but we'll do that another time. But let me be clear. The reason that the Democrats went down in the state of New York, none of those congressional districts that was lost was in the city of New York. Eric Adams is not the mayor of Long Island or the mayor of Mid-Hudson Valley. He's the mayor here. Don't act like whatever we were doing here caused what happened in Long Island. You must think we stupid to think that folk out in Long Island voted based on what the mayor in New York had to say. Because he got a lot to say. If they listening, they would be doing a lot more for us. It is the blame game. And it was the same blame game they used on Dave Dinkins that gave us Rudy Giuliani. And we are not going to let you do that again. We learned that lesson in '89. You're not going to do that again. We ain't going to agree with everything the mayor says, and he ain't going to agree with everything we say. But to blame him for the redistricting, they redrew the lines, and they made it where Republicans had an advantage. He did not redraw the lines. He was not one of the judges. He was trying to make subways safe and schools work, and we are not going to allow that to be distorted. Let me also say this, and I'm talking now to our community, blacks and brown. We have never, Reverend Aker, had this kind of power in black leadership. We have a black lieutenant governor, a black state attorney general, a black speaker of the New York State Assembly, a black majority leader of the state Senate. We have an incoming black to chair the Congressional Black Caucus in Congress, soon to be speaker. We have a black DA in Manhattan, a black DA in the Bronx, a black U.S. Attorney Southern District, black U.S. Attorney in Eastern District, and a black mayor, and a black police commissioner. And we've never had them all get in a room and sit down and say, collectively, with all of this unprecedented power, what can we do together about crime? We need them all to sit down. They got more power than Adam Clayton Powell could have ever dreamed of. More power than Dave Dinkins and Percy Sutton could have ever imagined. So I'm asking the mayor to help me convene all of the blacks in high office, have it to Gracie Mansion. We need all of you to sit down and deal with how we come together around what's going on. Just a photo will say to our children that they can be more than some street hustler. They can be more than some dope peddler. I want the photo to show them you can grow up in this town and be the mayor and be the lieutenant governor and be the speaker of the house. We need y'all to come together and quit taking shots at each other and empower the people that empowered you. So sometime during these holidays, I'm inviting myself to Gracie Mansion. But we need to have a black summit. Because it's not your mama scared, it's ours. People tell me, well, you know, crime ain't that bad. I got grandmas telling me they scared to get on the subway. This is real. We talk about, well, it's perception. Well, if it's perception, the perception comes from somewhere. And we all should be able to have a conversation about that. We may not agree, but we need to not be disagreeable where we can't sit down. I'm just talking about the top officials. I ain't talking about everybody that got elected to something. Because everybody be calling, talking about, when is my meeting? I'm talking about the ones I named. Yellow. But I know how some of us are. Somebody hearing on the radio or seen on TV right now talking about, I better be there. No, don't blame Eric, blame Al. Because you know I ain't running for nothing. I don't care about hurting your feelings. One of the papers called me the other day talking about, we saw that you and Eric Garner's mother and some of y'all's backers had y'all on private planes. I said, absolutely. In the middle of the pandemic, how else was we going to get to George Floyd's thing? They're going to always come with me. I don't care nothing about that. Because I expect that if you're going to be out here, they're going to hit you. But I expect them to know we're going to hit back. You mess with us, we're going to come back. And when you talk about the mayor, you talking about us. He was here in the beginning of Nan, and he ain't got to call us. We going to call back. Now, I'm not naive enough to think that we going to win every fight. But I'm going to tell you this, if you get in a fight with us, they're going to have to wake you up at the hospital after the fight and tell you you won on rounds. There won't be no knockout. We going every round. You only going to win on points. And you're going to have to recover from a fight. So I want you and I on this weekend before Thanksgiving to let the world know that we stand with him. He is not the reason they redrew the lines, and he speaks for those concerns that we all must find middle ground with. I bring to you our mayor of the city of New York, Mayor Eric Adams.
No one sets the table better. And I want to build on Reverend Sharpton's during this Thanksgiving. And you know, sometimes people get it mixed up. It's not thanks receiving, it's Thanksgiving. And on this Thanksgiving, I just think it's imperative as we sit around the tables to set the table. What Reverend Sharpton just laid out is so important. Because when you go back over 30-something year relationship, you understand that we just didn't end up here. Each person he mentioned in some way or another intersected with Nan. This moment is Nan's moment. There's not been an organization on the front line of really political empowerment and strength. And we've got some amazing organizations, NAACP, Urban League, Black United Front, and so many others. but there was a specific agenda that was outlined by Nan of starting early, of going after some of the young people and really codifying a real mission of how do we move our communities forward. And so I always say to Nan, if you allow someone else to take the victorious moments that you created, that is just not the right thing to do. So what's the table right now? The table right now was the roll call that Reverend Sharpton stated. First, let's acknowledge the fact that New York is the most powerful city on the globe, not in the country, but on the globe. New York is the most powerful city. My colleagues and international leaders call me all the time. We just had the UNGA, UN National General Assembly here. World leaders came to City Hall to sit down and speak with me and talked about what is happening here in New York. And so what does the landscape look like? What is the table looking like right now? Black DA, person of color DA in Manhattan, person of color DA in the Bronx, person of color DA in Brooklyn, largest county in the country. Person of color is the public advocate. Person of color is the leader of the Senate. Person of color is the leader of the Assembly. Person of color is the Attorney General. Person of color is the leader of the City Council. Person of color is getting ready to be the leader, I believe, in the Congress of the congressional delegation. When you look at then the chairs of the committees that make the determination of the allocation of resources, you're seeing persons of color are leading those positions that make the determination of how resources are being allocated. And I forgot one. Person of color is the mayor. You marched, you prayed, you rallied, you put together the petitioning, the voting, you organized people, you used all of your political muscle and strength for this moment. This is the moment we all ask for. And I'm a strong believer you live in a universe of opposites. Just as up has down, big has small, happy has sad, light has dark. There's moments of opposites in the political atmosphere as well. There's a celebratory moment for many of us who fought to get to this moment, but don't kid yourselves. Just as we are celebrating and just as we are cheering, there's a body of people who are jeering. And they're saying to themselves, how the hell did we allow all this to happen? How do we allow, when we discovered, we are seeing these lining up of the power structures in our city. And then you have a mayor that is coming along and is stating we could have justice and safety. They go together. Because that has been the history of my run. I think folks forgot about the time that Reverend Sharpton and I were walking around painting crack houses. And we would paint crack houses on Monday, and then on Friday, we'd get together and march against police brutality, or to talk about we're not going to abandon one for the other. People are attempting to tell us to trade off the two. And I'm saying to you, Nan, we do not have to. We can have them both. And what does that look like? It's look like damming every river that feeds the criminal justice madness that we're seeing in our city and in our state and in our country. My conversations with mayors across the country are telling me that the same problems are happening in all of the big cities in the country. And there was one more analysis that I forgot to give you. 4 of the major cities in America have black mayors. Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, New York, Atlanta, and then you look at the 11 major cities they have mayors of color? If not now, when? When? And look at the blueprint. We are not saying that my life work of fighting against police abuse, we're going to abandon that. What could be more silly than that? We are very clear. We knew when I came into office, based on the life work, that 30% of our inmates at Rikers Island were dyslexic. So what did we do? We did dyslexia screening in every school so that we could prevent children from being on the pipeline of being incarcerated. And then we're moving to Rikers Island to screen those inmates so that they could be getting the services that they deserve so they don't be on the revolving door. I've been on Rikers Island more than any other mayor probably in their entire run in the 11 months that I've been in office, talking with prisoners and correction officers, interacting with them. The Fatherhood No More program on Rikers Island, young men who grew up without fathers, I sat down in a room with them and spoke with them to find out exactly what the issues are so they can know they got a man that represents them in a real way. Then we lean into foster care. 600 to 700 foster care children age out every year, and they were being abandoned. We knew they were more likely not to graduate from high school, more likely to be criminal justice involved, more likely to be the victim of a crime, to deal with mental health, to be homeless. We leaned into them and stated that if you want to go to college, we're going to pay $15,000 a year for you to go to college and give you $60 a day. And then after you graduate from college, we're not going to abandon you. We're going to stay with you and allow you to get the support that you need so you don't have to continue to go without the support that you desire and need. Then we have the criminal justice involved. Go look up Block Power. Everyone is talking about the green economy. We're taking criminal justice involved young people and we're training them for green jobs so that they can understand that they can be employed as we start to do battery storage, solar panel, refurbishing the environmental issues that we're facing, building out wind farms on the southern part of Brooklyn, having our young people involved and being employed in these real jobs that's taking place. We've redefined probation. Young people on probation that's dealing with a criminal justice issue, they're now dealing with mentors that are part of our life work that we're seeing taking place with the young men and women that are credible messengers. We're connecting them in the school with Project Pivot, with community-based organizations that were historically locked out. They're now part of our Project Pivot of going into the schools, identifying the pain and suffering of our children. Putting washing machines in school because children are not going to classes because they don't have clean clothing. Food pantries in school. Mentorships in school. When you look at the holistic approach that we are doing to dam the river that creates the environment that crime feeds on, people who are tempted to say, yes, we want you to do that, but we don't want to go after the other aspect of dealing with public safety in our city, and that's dealing with the mental health crisis. No one has been dealing with this mental health crisis like we are doing from day one. Day one, you see it every time. You see it on the trains. You see it as you walk the streets. People were living in tents and encampments on our streets. And all of those philosophical, intellectual advocates that sits home in their warm, heated apartment somewhere talking about it is inhumane to not allow people to stay and sleep on the street. I went in those camps. I went in those cardboard boxes looking at human waste, drug paraphernalia, schizophrenia, bipolar, stale food, lack of clean clothing. There is nothing Christian-like about allowing people to live there and ignore that they're living in those conditions. We cycled them off the subway system, put them into safe haven, wraparound beds, and gave them the support that they deserve. And that's a dignified way to do it, and partner with other organizations in the aspects to doing so. This is unprecedented what we're doing because I didn't come here and try to invent what needs to be done. I have a 30-plus year experience on fighting with the people who knew what's being done. We're just implementing your plan, man. That's all we're doing. But we have to deal with the real conversation of guns. That's right. We can't ignore this. Do you know how many nights I'm in the hospital speaking to mothers? And I feel like I'm in the twilight zone sometimes. You having people say, well, just don't talk about it. That doesn't fit the narrative. Man, what's wrong with you? I'm on the subways. I'm riding the trains. I'm speaking with people who are feeling that they cannot be safe in their family. I'm hearing the mothers that every time, and the dads every time they hear a shooting at the school, they're worried about. Do you know how many guns we are recovering from our babies carrying guns to school? We had a 6-year-old the other day with an automatic weapon, semi-automatic weapon in his book bag. Just the other day, yesterday, I'm out in Queens. Quiet tree-lined block. 3 family members stabbed, throats cut in Queens. So it's the proper approach to this, but it doesn't go away by ignoring it. It goes away by all of us coming together, all of the pieces that are part of the criminal justice apparatus coming together and saying, how do we do our part? How do we make sure that justice is served? Serving justice means a young man should not sit on Rikers Island for 3 years waiting to determine if he is innocent or guilty of a crime. Serving justice means that a family member should not have to worry about if a person who took the lives of their loved one is not being apprehended and brought to justice. And it's not about ignoring this issue. That is what we must come to terms with. The belief that the Democrats don't have a real plan to deal with crime, that was our mistake. We had the right plan. They allowed the Republicans to embarrass them with the far, far left to embarrass them to come out and talk about their real plan. The Republicans voted against the criminal justice reforms to put money in law enforcement across the country. The Republicans did not vote in support of sensible gun laws. The Republicans are not funding the resources that communities need across the country. But instead of the Democrats coming together and saying, look what we did with Mayor Adams. First time in history, 100,000 summer youth jobs so our young people can be employed. First time in history, 100,000 summer school programs so our children were not languishing on the streets. First time in history, we were able to get NYCHA Land Trust so NYCHA could have the funding they need to build out NYCHA the way it deserved. First time in history, we were able to partner together with Albany and get child care funding, billions of dollars so that our parents can have adequate child care for their children. Hotel conversion so people are not living in shelters but going into hotels. You continue to see all the victories we racked up. But instead of us standing on those victories, we've allowed the puppet masters to create an atmosphere and say, well, y'all disagree on bail reform. Bail reform is the symbol that they're using to impact the decision of people coming out to poll. We should have been standing together saying, listen, we have the right to disagree on what we disagree on, but we agree that we all should live in the city in a safe way and not have to deal with any type of abuse or violence. But look at our victories. There was no focus on our victories. There was no focus on what we did together. And I said this at the beginning of the term, and I'm going to say it again. It's time for us to come in a room together. We are desecrating the name of Adam Powell. We're desecrating the name of Al Van. We're desecrating the name of David Dinkins. We're desecrating the name of Congressman Lewis. All of them, when you examine, they can point to their legacies. They can point to their victories. They can point to what they did to bring us to this level. What can we point to? What is our legacy? Our legacy can't continue to be 65% of black and brown children never reaching proficiency in the Department of Education. Our legacy can't be 80% of the inmates at Rikers Island don't have a high school diploma or equivalency diploma. 55% have learning disability. 48% have mental health issues. Our legacy can't be guns are carving highways of death with 9mm bullets, destroying the lives of our family members and having our mothers have remembrance every birthday and holiday because they lost their loved one prematurely on the way to college, on their way to school, on their way to their job. That can't be our legacy. And so I joined Reverend Sharpton. And I think this is a moment of recalibration as we take upon these amazing challenges. You built this team. You're the owner of this franchise. It's now all the players that you recruited when they were rookies. It's now for all of them to realize we need to talk with one message. That means giving the support to our court systems. That means making sure we have real sensible tweaks to the reforms that I fought for. Many of the reforms we're hearing about, 100 blacks in law enforcement, we were the architects for. We were pushing through before it became popular. We need a convening of making sure that justice is continuous in this city. And we're up for this moment. We're up for this moment, and we're excited about this moment because we know the possibilities. But there's no way we're going to be victorious if we spend our time wandering and staying in this twilight zone moment, that we want to ignore the real incidents that are happening on our streets. Rev said it right. When I go to senior centers, those seniors are saying, baby, I'm afraid. When I'm on the subway talking to people, they saying I'm afraid. We were waking up to gunshots and not alarm clocks, and we stayed. That's why our affordable housing plan calls to build and allow you to stay in your city. The projects we are doing, 100% affordable, 45% affordable. From Innovation Queens to the building we're doing at Shea Stadium, Willis Point, 100% affordable. Bruckner, affordable units. We are in a good moment, and all those self-righteous folks who are not based in reality, who believe that they are going to just headline our pursuit away, it's not going to happen. So you can write about me above the fold. You can send all the messages out. I am consistent. I am focused. And I'm telling you, now, yes, we're the safest big city in America. I got that. Yes, I ran on the platform of decreasing gun violence, decreasing homicides. Yes, we have double-digit decrease in both. We're seeing a decrease in assaults, but we have to go further. Our communities have never felt safe. Never. And people told us the only way we can feel safe is to have an over-abusive police interaction. And I'm telling you, that is not true. Many communities around this city feel safe, and they have the proper police approach to do so. And that is what we're going to do. So when people tell me don't talk about crime, act like it doesn't exist, I am not going to ignore the concerns of the people who put me in office. They put me in office for some clear points. There was no three-card money. There was no slickster. I ran on certain things, and I'm governing on those things. There was a whole lot of choices people had. And at the end of the day, they said, we heard you all. We know what you're selling. All that snake oil is not going to do anything because we know one thing. We know Eric Adams, and Eric Adams knows us. And that is why the people of this city decided to make me the mayor of the city of New York. We have a lot to do. Must do it in one voice. And we must make sure that we get stuff done in a real way, and I'm committed to doing that. And I knew that the increase in crime, as Reverend Sharpton stated, the 40% increase from the year before in January when I took office, I knew that every New Yorker deserved to be safe. And we knew the pathway to do it. That's why we brought on Commissioner Keyshawn Sewell, the first African American to become the police commissioner. That's why we have Commissioner Molina, the first Latino to run the Department of Correction, to do the real reforms that's needed in the Department of Correction. We have to take real action. And that's why I'm going to continue to be laser focused on guns and get these guns out of our communities, because by the time a young person has a gun in his hand, we have already failed him. That's why we're going to continue to put money and resources into the crisis management system so that we'll make sure that they're able to get the support that they deserve. And finally, that's why I'm going to advocate and push and continue to push to improve our courts, give our judges, our attorneys more resources that they need. They need to make sure that they're able to move these courts through the system. And yes, that's why I'm calling for more discretion for our judges that can identify those with imminent threat to the safety of our community. I think sometimes as I conclude, people forgot my story. Yes, I'm the mayor. Yes, I was borough president. Yes, I was state senator. Yes, I was a captain. But that's just the story. That's just the glory. Don't forget my story. Don't forget Dorothy Mae Adams coming to that precinct after I was arrested and beat by a police officer. Don't forget my young friends that I lost due to crime and crack and to violence. That's the duality of my life that prepared me for this moment. Esther 4:14. God made me for such a time like this. We could have a safe city. We could have safe communities. But we're not going to do it pitting and fighting against each other like we're modern-day political Crips and Bloods. It is time for us to come together with one voice, one focus, to make sure we don't squander this moment that NANS and organizations like NAN fought to get us here. Let's live up to the opportunities that are available. Thank you, NAN. Thank you, Reverend Sharpton.
Mayor Eric Adams. Mayor Eric Adams. Give him a hand as he goes about his business. I want us to be clear, and we're going to have this convening of our black officials. And that's why we have a House of Justice, because we want them to be able to come and talk to us and be straight on the ground. I keep telling folks, ain't nothing more grassroots than a storefront on 145th Street. And people being able to hear for themselves what is going on and what is not going on. Let me tell you something. The forces that we are fighting don't give up. And we can't give up. When you see in this week alone how the Republicans are already taking an agenda of we going after the programs that Biden and them started. They already done listed. They don't even know who they're going to elect as speaker if the final count gives them the majority of the Congress. But they already are saying, we going after Hunter Biden. We all going after this. We going after that. They take somebody that is ill-equipped to be in the Senate and run him against Reverend Senator Raphael Warnock. Every time I see Herschel Walker, I bow my head in prayer. Because I just don't want him to be used in a way that is embarrassing. He was a good football player. He is not equipped to be a U.S. Senator, and anyone that puts him there has no respect or regard for the people of their state. But they already line up, and then Donald Trump comes back out this week and announces he's gonna run again. They are not shame or backing down, but neither are we. We gonna stand up and fight for the ground we've covered, and we're going to keep on fighting till we get to the ground we belong to. Don't take for granted now anything. Everything that we see was fought for. When I talk about having a black summit, let me tell you something. Dr. King and Roy Wilkins and Whitney Young, all of them never stopped meeting and talking. That's why I'm calling for this meeting here. And that's why I'm talking about all of us coming together. And we're going to do it nationally as well. At our convention, our last convention, National Action Network, before the pandemic in 19, we had 15 of the Democratic candidates running for president. 15 of them. Everybody from Bernie Sanders to Liz Warren, everybody come to our convention. Because I believe in them having to come before the people. And I don't change tunes. First question I ask every candidate in public, in front of all of you that were there, is what's your position on reparations? Every candidate, I made them speak to that. We don't change what we say, but we're going to change what is being said about our conditions if we stand together and change the law rather than just change the rhetoric. There is a difference between noise and progress. One of the reasons why this movie they got out on me, Loudmouth, we geared toward changing laws. Because we were loud, we were able to change racial profiling laws right out there in Jersey where Bartley is. Because we was loud, we was able to change stop and frisk. Because we was loud, we went from not getting anybody indicted to getting convictions with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery. I don't apologize for being loud. You ought to be apologizing for being quiet. And we never stopped fighting. They did not give us justice on Eric Garner. Not in Mississippi, in New York. That's why I wanted this movie out. I didn't put it together, they put it together on us. But in the Deep South, in Brunswick, Georgia, they convicted 3 white men for killing Ahmaud Arbery. We marched and helped lead that fight. In Brunswick, Georgia, rural Georgia, but in New York, they would not indict a policeman that choked Eric Garner to death on tape. That's why we got to fight up north like we do down south, because this fight is not over. And the same folk that are trying to keep the scales of justice imbalanced are the ones that'll go after seeing all of these blacks in power. They never dreamed that they'd see all of these blacks and browns, people of color, in position. And neither did some of us. But now that we here, we're gonna make it work. We're going to sit down and we're going to find a way to make it work. Because the blood that binds us is thicker than the waters that divide us. We have got to make it work. We owe it to our ancestors. We owe it to our parents. We owe it to our children that we've got to make this moment work. I look at Hakeem Jeffries and Eric Adams and them, when they were, like he said, younger men running through National Action Network rallies, and now they're in position. We didn't take that trip for somebody's career. We did that to build our community. And if history says, with all of that ability, with all that power they accumulated, they did nothing, we will be the most disgraceful generation of blacks that ever was. Too busy ego tripping. Too busy trying to be one more than the other. Too busy holding grudges or stuff that don't matter. mad at each other and don't even remember why we got mad. Time for us to be grown-ups and use what God has given us. And I want you to know Thanksgiving is a special day for me. I know that they started Thanksgiving one set in the New England area where they sat down with the Native Americans and was thankful they took their land. Another set in Virginia where they'd come and they gave thanks. They got all the way across the Atlantic. But Thanksgiving wasn't that for me. Thanksgiving was that I had a mother that had to take care of me and my sister on welfare with food stamps. But with our no resources, with little bit of money, she put some turkey on the table and said, thank God anyhow. Daddy may be gone, but God is still on the throne. Thank God anyhow. And I want you to know that's why I spend Thanksgiving at the House of Justice. That's why I'll be here Thursday, because I will give thanks. I will give thanks. They put in the movie where a man stabbed me and tried to kill me, but I woke up this morning and I wasn't in a cold grave. I will give thanks. One day, because I marched in Puerto Rico, they put me in jail for 3 months. I woke up this morning, wasn't no bars in the room that I was in. I will give thanks. I'm going to thank them anyhow. No matter what lie you told, no lie was able to undermine me. I will give thanks. They took me to court once and 70 counts they put against me, but God went in the jury room and brought me out victorious. I will give thanks unto him, because if God before me, if God before me, if God before me, it's more than the whole world against me. I don't care what's going on Thursday. I know it's snowing up in Buffalo, but if I got to go through snow in the city, I'll be here to give thanks unto him who is able to keep me from falling. I survived more than most folk been through. Thought about riding up here this morning. That with all I could complain about, oh yeah, they write and talk bad stuff, Fox News every day, but they can't take my joy. I was 37 years old when that man stuck that knife in my chest. Never thought I'd live to see my daughters grow to be grown. But God spared me to where I saw my grandson run across the floor at the House of Justice. I will give thanks. Every time I hug my grandson, he don't know why I'm hugging him. I wasn't supposed to be here to see a grandson. My daughters were supposed to visit me on prison days in jail if they had their way. But God wouldn't let that happen. Somehow God blocked every plan they had. That's why y'all guessing about God. I know there's a God. I know him for myself. I heard Bishop Washington tell me about him. I heard others tell me about him, but I lived long enough where I know him for myself. How do I know him? Because he walks with me. He talks with me. He tells me that I'm his own. And if everybody else is tripping on Thursday, I'll be giving thanks to the God that's been food when I was hungry, that was water when I was thirsty, that was my lawyer in the courtroom, that was my way maker, was my burden bearer. I will give thanks unto him. Yes, I will. Yes, I will. I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some lonely days. And I don't mind admitting that I've had some sleepless nights. But when I look around, and think things over. All of my good days outweighed my bad days. And on Thanksgiving Saturday, I won't complain. Sometime the roads was rough. Going was tough. But I won't complain. Because God been good to me. I don't know about you, but he been good to me. Better than you could ever be. He's been real good to me. He dried all my tears away. Turned them dark midnights I had into day. So I don't care what nobody else say. I'm not complaining. I will give thanks.
I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days. And some sleepless nights. But as I look around, and I begin to think things over, all of my good days, they outweigh the bad days. And so I won't complain. Sometimes the clouds hang low and I can hardly see the road. So I ask the question, Lord, why so much pain? But oh, he knows what's best for me. See, sometimes these weary eyes, they just can't see. So I'll just say, thank you, Lord.
Yeah.
I won't complain. You see, God has been good to me. He's been so good to me. He's been better than me than this whole world could ever be. God's been good. God's been good. So good, so good, so good to me. Oh, he dried my tears away. Good God Almighty, and he turned my midnight, he turned them into day. So instead of complaining, I've learned how to lift my hands, look up towards heaven, and say, thank you, Lord. I've been lied on, but thank you, Lord. I've been talked about, but thank you, Lord. I've been misunderstood, but thank you, Lord. 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 I won't complain.
One more time. There's somebody listening on the radio that may be going through something. Maybe they're upset. Some of their relatives may not get here for Thanksgiving. Maybe they're pained and brokenhearted because somebody might have broke up with them or might have broke up the family. But think about you're still here. Think about no matter what has happened to you, you made it to another Thanksgiving week. And somehow God blessed you despite you. I won't complain.
God has, he's been so good to me. He's me than this world could ever be.
Could ever be. God has been so good. He dried all my tears away. He turned my midnight into day. So I'll say, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. And I won't complain. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord.
Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Everybody's singing. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. Everybody's singing. Everybody sing. Everybody singing. One more time, y'all. One more time, y'all. Everybody singing. I'm gonna open the doors of the movement. There may be someone here today that never joined National Action Network. You come to rallies, you hear us on radio, see us on TV, but never became a member of the organization. If you're here today and never joined, I want you to come down to me and let us sign you up right now. If you're listening on radio, you can call 1-877-626-4651. 1-877-626-4651. But if you're here and never joined, come down to me. Never a better Saturday than the Saturday before Thanksgiving than to join National Action Network. Come on. Everybody's singing. Everybody sing. Come on. Everybody singing. Sing it like you mean it. Sing it like you mean it. Come on. Sing it like you mean it. One more time, y'all. One more time, y'all. One more time, y'all. Everybody now. Everybody sing. Everybody singing. All right. All right. We had a great rally this morning. And I'm glad that on this Thanksgiving week, as we begin this Thanksgiving week, we were able to rise to that occasion. There's no better time to call for this Black Summit than we did on Thanksgiving Day. We need this. And the mayor chimed in right with it and defended his record. And like he said, you ought to be proud, Nan, that out of Nan came probably the first speaker in U.S. history, black. member of NAN. Mayor of New York, member of NAN. All of this come right through here. There ain't no accident. That's why they always attacking us, because we attacking them. Hakeem called me yesterday and said, make sure you tell him Saturday that I'm a dues-paying member of National Action Network. And that I'll be there. I got to get this vote straight, but I'll be there. He said, I'm going to try to get there Thanksgiving. And as you know, he's always here. The mayor's here. People going to say in the press, why did the mayor defend himself at NAN? Because he is NAN. Where else he supposed to go? All right. And we'll continue to grow. I'm glad to see a young lady join here today, others online. Our young folk building up in NAN. Our choir, Minister Richardson doing a great job with that. And then we had Tisha singing, and Megan got up there and went buck wild on me this morning. I thought Roberta Flack had got out the hospital. All right. You know, I usually don't come out to time to speak. I almost come out here when Megan was up. All right, let's raise our offering. Glad when Mayor was talking about we had a team, Reverend Bartley, and all of us play our part on the team. And I looked over there at you and what you've done with NAN Tech, and as you build it up, and then I looked next to you, and Attorney Hardy's there. I remember Casey Stengel. That's our Casey Stengel. Y'all got to be a certain age to know Casey Stengel was an old manager. No, give a hand. Attorney Hardy been something that we give thanks for. All right, let's get ready to give. And again, the bus will be here at 12:30. Where's Katrina? It's 12:30? All right, but we're leaving at 12:30. All right. And Reverend Bartley and others, we're going out there to support that family in Inglewood. Then we need volunteers that will help. On Tuesday, we're giving away turkeys at 5, and then serving at 11. Now, if you're serving, that does not mean show up at 11, asking where you stand, because you'll be standing outside. So come at the time designated. And you that want to eat with us, come. Be here about 10:30, so you in place. And the mayor and I and others will be serving on Thanksgiving Day, that's Thursday. Then I need a squad. There are now 3 theaters in New York alone that's going to start showing the documentary movie on me on December 9th. It's going to be in 47 theaters around the country in 30-something states, around 38 states. But New York needs to really be there. We're going to have people out there, 2-hour shifts, that will stand there 2 hours and tell people you need to join NAN. We need you. And those that will help us do that. I don't expect you to be there the whole day the movie showing every day. But if you do 2 hours, a few days starting the 9th, it will encourage people to join and encourage people as it goes into the holiday. People going to see different movies to go see Loudmouth. This is our story. And we need you out there. All right, let me raise our offering. Make sure you stop at the counter and sign up to be a volunteer for Loudmouth or a volunteer to help with Thanksgiving. I remember, I'll never forget, and I'm sure she'll be here Thursday. It was one lady, came one year, I don't remember the year, Attorney Hardy, you may remember, but a lady came with 3 kids, said she was living in the shelter. and 2 years later came back with her 3 kids and had worked and got where she had her own home and had put her children in school. Robin Chambers, Kathy said, is her name. And she comes every year to help serve. Because she said, I come because I had nowhere to bring my kids when I was homeless. And now I own my own home and I come to serve others. I thank God for people that, sometimes people be asking for a blessing. God can't trust you with a blessing. Because the minute you get blessed, you don't show up no more. Sometimes the reason you got to keep praying is because God don't hear from you unless you got something going on. So sometimes he knock you to your knees so you get on your knees. All right. I need about 10 people. I'm raising my offering now. I need about 10 people that can give $100 or more to come quickly. Guardians.